All right, we are here with Derevi, Empyrial Tactician. 3 mana, 2/3 flying bird. When it enters or deals combat damage to a player, you tap or untap a permanent. Usually gonna untap a land, but we'll see. Most interestingly, is this for 4 mana can come into play from the command zone at instant speed, and it's uncounterable, and it's always 4 mana. So that ability is extremely powerful, extremely powerful. However, Derevi itself isn't that great, which kind of makes sense. Otherwise, this would become unstoppable. Right. But it seems kind of cool. I don't really know what direction I want to take this. Like, just a bunch of flying creatures to harass people. I really don't know. So I'm just going to start sending what I think are the best cards, and we just go from there. So let's do that. All right. I thought I would have more commentary as I was actually making the deck, but I ended up getting stuck in silence thinking. So this is what it ended up looking like to start, at least. I don't know about some of these cards, but some are pretty interesting. Enduring Innocence draws a card every time my commander enters. I really like the idea of that. Maybe there's not enough for this, but we'll see. Teferi's just Teferi. Tamiyo seems really interesting with my commander. I like all of the abilities on this card. Well, everyone likes the ultimate, but the 1 and 2, I should say. And I'm running Curiosity effects, flashing this in, and then harassing my opponent with drawing 2 cards a turn. Seems alright. I don't know. I can also enchant other cards, like a Elvish Mystic or something that I no longer need for mana, which seems unrealistic, but you never know. I'm not running Skrelv, just Giver. Might even swap this out for Skrelv, because protection from blue means I lose my enchants on my thing. That's a little too adorable, though, to like min-maxy sort of. Giver is just better than Skrelv, and protection from blue is like the least chosen color anyways, right? And I'd also have to have one of these, and yeah, it's just not realistic. And yeah, that's really about it. I don't think this is a Nadu deck, which is why Nadu is not in here. I think Nadu is actually a bird wizard. This is not a tribal deck, okay, just because it says bird on it. I don't believe I have consistent ways to give, like, spam target things. I mean, this technically does it, and the auras do it once, but I'm not going to run, like, random equipment and throw Nadu in here. And, yeah, let's start like this. Okay, a Derevi mirror is not what I wanted to start with, and neither did my opponent. Neither did my opponent. I was... okay. I was, Okay, so the Crucius deck is sometimes a combo deck, and most of the times is not a combo deck. So I'm going to treat it as though it is not one. Okay, I don't know if that means it's a combo deck, honestly. I will leave up swords, and I will kill it before they go to do stuff. So they cast Crucius, and I kill it before they change phases. Alright, it was the combo deck, where it just tries to get Crucius and then immediately do something with Crucius. I think I can do better. I can do better than that. I can do better. I don't believe... 1, 2, 3... I'm not casting Shard of Course this turn. I also drew a pretty good card, actually. So tap, cycle sensor. So the Derevi actually does something here. Swing. Do I chart a course? I guess. That's why I put it in the deck, so. That's what it's there for. What it do be there for? Okay. This Essica can't run counter spells, which is pretty nice for us. Pretty nice. Alright, so I want a white land. I could just get a headquarters, honestly. No, I don't have to. I don't have to. White and green is fine. Green and white. White and green. More mana is not bad here either. Soft counters don't feel good. Well, we'll see. I think I want the land. I'm going to keep a land here. And I will preek. Yeah, we're going to do this first. We're going to do this pre-combat because of the Derevi. Alright, that's good, and maybe Disruption winds up being good. It's probably better to take Get Lost, though. Let's be real. Probably. I already played a land this turn, so I don't have to, like, joint exploration. Alright. Well, I'm kind of where I want to be. I just, again, I'm not applying a ton of pressure every turn. You know what? I'm a little surprised to see that, actually. So I think I just sacked Derevi. It's not like Derevi doesn't come back. Yeah. Alright. I think this is fine. I don't know. Probably cast Joint Exploration now? Yeah. I do have 3 mana, so it would make sense to do that. It is cool that Derevi just has extreme redundancy. Okay, both of these are alright, but I don't know if I like the Ledger Shredder that much. Maybe I do. Maybe I could just keep both of these. I don't know. I'm going to tap the bird, because I'm sniffing devastation here. Get rid of this utter insignificance. I don't think I'm playing Rhystic Study this turn, so I can probably do this. Do we play Tamiyo? I kind of like Tamiyo here. I cannot shut down their Essica, but that's probably just fine. I think this is just fine. Like, play Essica. I have a Get Lost for the first activation. I mean, I can also just blow it up, but might not be the best idea. Who knows? Who knows? Okay. Atraxa. I had no answer to Atraxa anyways. This is where I just lose to 5-color dumb stuff, and my entire turns just didn't matter. Alright, Rhystic Study is just pointless now. 6 cards in the graveyard. I can get another one. This basically has to happen, so I'll just leave with that. Oh boy. Alright, that's a lot of lands. So... play this. Play this, untap. Okay, so I can play this here, like that. And then untap here. I'm doing all this cool stuff, but I don't think it's doing enough, unfortunately. Okay. I mean, that was a really good draw. That was a really good draw. So we'll see what my opponent does. That was a phenomenal... I probably needed to draw that, actually. Oh, wait, what? 1, 2, 3, 4... Okay, that's fine. Okay, I was like, why would you ever do that? But yeah, you can still play stuff after. It also fishes for a counterspell. Unfortunately, I can't afford for this. I need my board to stay in this game, so I just have to keep my board around. There's nothing else to think about here. The Tammy Ultimate, funny enough, isn't actually all that amazing. So let's do that in this. I might just reprobate for the sake of it. You know what? I can just play this and do that for my untappy wappies instead. I don't think I have to reprobate this. I'm not even sure if that's even all that useful. Alright, another phenomenal set of draws. Another phenomenal set of draws. We might beat the 5-color good stuff pile. No way. I'm not even going to counter the Narset. I don't think I'm going to counter the Narset. Maybe I should. It doesn't get my opponent out of anything, making it give me a 2-2. No, I'm going to counter the Narset. It denies my card draw, and I think that's important. I think my card draw will matter. I think it will matter, so... Oh, cool, land. Okay, opponent's out of their mind, not casting more. You have to do something here. You can't just not do anything. That's completely insane. So this bounces the Tamiyo. Let's put Commander to the command zone. Alright, I mean, yeah. Okay. Okay, so I can play Bird? Alright. I can't say this is remotely relevant, but sure. Okay, they find a land. They play the land. They find another land. So I'm going to reprobate the token so I can't block. It has Ward 1, right? Yeah, gotta make sure I'm aware of that, unlike last time. And we... Can I Cyclonic Rift my opponent? Does that matter? I feel like it doesn't. Ledger Shredder has looted so many lands. It's kind of insane how many lands I've looted with Ledger Shredder. It's actually nuts. Okay. Oh, hello, Counterspell. Nice to meet you there. All right. That was a very good turn. I can just chump block the Paradise Druid. Again, this deck can't run counter spells, so. I don't care about Rhystic Study. Oh, my opponent's just dead. My opponent's just dead in the air. Alright, sweet. We did it. We actually did it. Look at that. The Schmiedening has commenced. Get Schmieded. Nice. Look at that. I actually did it. I actually did it. That's crazy. I don't even care about the endure. Actually, the enduring thing dying is kind of fine because it comes back as an enchantment. Wow. Wow. Why am I not on the... Fine. Ooh, they're going to be a little upset with this Swords to Plowshares, I think. Well, oh right, I can wash away it because it came from exile. Forgot about that. Cool. Alright, didn't draw land. Always fun, always fun. Gotta love it. I'm not sure what to do now. Because I missed a land drop. Okay. I'm not gonna leave up Disdainful Stroke. It just doesn't seem like a good idea. Don't think that's a winning line. Zorn is unusual. Alright, so now we're just straight losing. Now we are losing rather decidedly. Probably can't let that happen. And if it does die, now at least I get to loot if they have a second removal spell. And then we're not really upset, because I at least get to loot. Let's get rid of Wandering Emperor. Yeah, this makes... That worked out pretty well. That worked out pretty well. Yeah, they probably do run Zorn. It just looks weird. It just looks weird. I love cut to ribbons. I might even take out Megalon off, actually. This does not look like a game where it's doing much, so... Huh, the last Gix opponent actually led with that, too. Funny. Unfortunately, they draw even if I stop Gix for like a while. This just seems like the best thing I can do. I might even just... No, I don't want to reprobate a random creature. How... It would be unbelievable if you had nothing. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. Okay, the slowest village rights in the universe. Maybe Fatal Push. Probably Fatal Push. I can deal with this situation, maybe? Whenever a player casts a spell, they must discard. Okay, alright, look at that. My opponent has the best land in their deck to undo everything I did. Fascinating. Don't you love it when that happens? I sure do. It was a cut down. Okay. My opponent pitched their entire hand to do this, which I sort of completely disagree with doing, but, you know, okay. It is what my opponent did. And technically, Derevi is not a spell, so... I don't think the suppression is looking too good right now, I'm not going to lie to you. Feeling like this oppression is not looking too good right now. There's the Fatal Push. You did it, opponent. You did it. You did it. Okay, so I can get rid of Memory Deluge by just casting this. Alternatively, my opponent has only a 2-1, so I suppose I ignore most of reality here and just simply leave up Derevi. My opponent can't attack me. And they're also not sacking Gix to the tower and recasting it, which they literally can, if they so choose. Okay, we can play this song and dance for quite a while here. I will proceed to do this again, right? Yes. This is what Derevi does. Honestly, I actually kind of like Oppression. I feel like I would run Oppression. That's funny. Okay, Duress is interesting. Duress is interesting. I feel as though there are no bad hits. I feel like I can let this happen. I don't really know... Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, yeah, I don't really think this Oppression was a good card. I don't really... I mean, I understand flooding the board with a bunch of creatures, drawing a bunch, and then it's fine, and it attacks your opponent's resources, but, like... Yeah... yeah... Not looking too good here. But who knows? Who knows? Alright, I'm gonna play Island. My whole hand is blue, actually. Look at that. Basically. No one drop, by the way. Interesting. I would love a removal spell here, and my opponent having nothing else in play this early is just... Yeah, get wrecked. Get schmeeded. I am beside myself that my opponent just played that card, but sure. That is quite surprising. opponent just portable hold me. I don't understand the logic. Okay, well, there's that stupid card again. Cool. Oh, look, it's Nadu. Fun. Alright. Yeah, that was a weird game. That was a really weird game. Portable hold is kind of unbelievable. I guess it was good there, but okay. Wow. That game was just... We just played Legacy. I just felt like I played a game of Legacy just now, honestly. Okay. Wow. This is the hyper-efficient God tier 1-drops from both sides. That's really funny. That is funny. I don't believe I'm going to Witness Protect a Mana Dork here, but this hand is actually pretty good, so... Yeah, this is alright. And then I just get Headquarters, probably? They don't have a Mana Dork? That's unbelievable. Guess I'm not getting Headquarters. Breeding Pool into blue. I wouldn't counter a ramp spell if it was the only thing to do. If it's not a turn 1, I don't really care. It must have a 1 or 2 though, so it doesn't have. Okay, that's neither. That's actually kind of nuts. Okay, so just do that. Leave up Seek New Knowledge. Maybe get rid of a land here, most likely. Alright. Yep. You would have been better off with a mana ramp spell than Bristly Bill, actually. Turn 1 and 2 with no ramp spell as a POC player is... you can't do that. Blue-white fetch land, I think? Headquarters is a land, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with this. We're just gonna play that. I like that. Lorien Revealed is something I might want to actually hardcast here, honestly. That is a huge problem. That will run away with the game quite fast, actually. Let's get rid of that. That can just make infinite tokens. Like, that could be a card they just play and never need to play another threat. And then I'm just, like, in a bad spot. And I don't want to be in a bad spot, so let's avoid that. Ristic Study is good, but I don't know if it's good enough. It does potentially draw very well, though. Opponent already has something to cast. Fine. Okay, that kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense. It looks like Ristic will resolve and my opponent will just let it happen, and I can kind of get behind that. Wow. 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 So, yeah, maybe dealing with this was really good, or... I can't believe how expensive Magic Arena is. Oh, I got a Mythic! I pulled a Mythic. Cool. I pulled a Mythic. Look at that. The inner... My inner Timmy jumps with joy as a free-to-play player. Really cool. Man, is this game so expensive. Jeez. It's like, you guys already make so much money in Magic Online. Did they have to make this so expensive too? Like, Magic Online exists already. So expensive. It's ridiculous. It's not, like, insane, but it's still... It's actually more expensive than Hearthstone, and that's saying something. Okay. So, I really like this... Hold on, I'm going to turn my music off than I did last time. I really like this commander, and it can and seems to want to play very grindy, grindy, long Bant control games. Maybe not control, but just like Bant value town games. And I'm all for it. I really like that. It is a bit difficult to consistently get this into play and have it matter a bunch because it is a 4 mana investment each time. Now, that's not the end of the world. You could say that I wanted more ramp spells because always having 4 mana sitting there for Derevi to be unstoppable is kind of useful. However, it is just a 2/3 flyer, and it's not that exciting. I didn't respect the 4 mana ability of tapping things much. Like, you can, for 4 mana, pull this out of the command zone and then tap something, like pre-combat, so you don't get swung at. I didn't do that. I don't think I did that at all. Or combat trick your opponent and untap your own creature to, like, block. I didn't really do that ever. It didn't come up that often. In fact, a lot of times, this coming into play in combat, I kind of want them to swing so I could kill whatever is attacking usually. Although, you know, it doesn't kill everything. The curiosity effects on top of Derevi are probably not what this commander's about. It is good when it works, but it didn't really get to work that many times. And when it did, I wasn't terribly enthralled with what I was doing, right? It's almost like a wannabe Niv Mizzet Perun where it like draws off the thing and combo. This obviously can't combo off itself or anything, but I don't really like the curiosity effects. It's funny, they're all like right next to each other alphabetically. I don't think that's what this should have been trying to do. There's actually a lot of instances where having a board wipe was actually fine, so maybe I can reevaluate how many mana dorks are in here. I didn't start the deck play, like I didn't start the with this in my deck. I actually forgot this existed. It's been a while since I've played it or seen it. But obviously this one should have been in here. I think the mana dorks are still too good to pass up, even if I did decide to run sweepers. But sweepers are totally viable because you do not care where in the game Derevi is, whether it's in the command zone or the battle. You don't. It seems as though I'm not supposed to care that much. So there's an argument to having. There's board wipes. I think board wipes are fine, especially with stuff like Uro. Kind of fine with a sweeper, honestly. There was a really, really long, grindy game I played, like a really long game, where my opponent was taking 10,000 years because they were robbing priority. It was like, I think it was a 30-minute game. It was a sizable chunk of the stream today was against that one player, and I would have won if I had any sweeper in my deck at any point, and would have never felt bad about removing my own creatures and probably would have stabilized. I know that's only one example, but it did come up more than just that one game, honestly, where a sweeper would have been quite useful. And I just didn't give myself access to that kind of thing. I don't believe the Enduring Innocence. I think Welcoming Vampire is the other one. I wasn't running that one. I don't think those are good enough just for Derevi. I just don't feel like this is where I want to be, especially if I have access to blue card draw already. I just don't know. It does give me consistent card draw off of like mana dorks and other things that I might top deck, and it just may smooth out your draw or whatever, but I'm more interested in sort of playing on my opponent's turn a lot of instants and whatnot, and I don't believe this is what I'm looking for here, unfortunately. There's always going to be, like, whatever multicolored commander you're playing, there's always going to be the best color and then like the worst color for the strategy. And it seems for this card, this commander specifically, white was kind of the weakest color. I could have ran, again, board wipes and spot removal, and all of that probably would have been better than the cards I had just taken out just now. I think so. Even more card draw is arguably totally fine. I could have ran one or two more divination style effects or something, right? Just using Derevi and top decking is not going to win you a game, so I could have taken that line. I don't even think I liked Giver of Runes because protecting Derevi really didn't feel like it made a lot of sense, and there's not a lot of other creatures in my deck I would ever care to cast, protect with Giver, so I actually don't like that either. Yeah, see, the white cards just seem to not be super ideal. We also have very, very good planeswalkers in here, so there's an argument in running board wipes. So I think the list I upload will have sweepers, and maybe even more planeswalkers. I do like the 5-mana Jays. it's a little questionable to try to play the Charter Course style deck while also protecting 5-mana planeswalkers, but I think there's a way to do it, and I am certainly willing to try. Tome of Legends is very good with card draw, right? This is right up our alley. This is what we're trying to do. I just, again, felt a little mana starved. I believe, based off what I've just been saying the past 5 minutes, we can come to the conclusion my deck was pointing in too many directions and not far enough in any one direction to be like really good at it. So I'm trying to get Derevi in play, give it curiosity, and protect it with Giver, while also trying to protect Teferis, or rather untap with Teferis and untap with Tamiyo, and get value from an Uro, and leave up counter spells and stuff. Like I was pointing in too many directions. I think it was probably better to sort of streamline and be better at 1 or 2 things and be very solid or okay at like 5 things. I don't think that was an ideal thing, right? There's a lot of times your opponent didn't really even care about Derevi. My opponent's just like, all right, cool, let it hang out, and then I'm sitting there with a Giver of Runes that doesn't really do anything because it's protecting a card my opponent doesn't actually care about, and that's unfortunate. So yeah, if I play, I'll probably play more of this commander. I actually really did like this commander, and it did not bump into complete bracket 4 nightmares constantly. I did play against a Golos. I actually haven't seen a Golos in a while. I did see tier 1 bracket 4 commanders, but for the most part, I kind of didn't. You obviously could just concede. It's not like it's not a ranked format or anything. So yeah, I'll probably put more time into this and fine tune it, but I can recommend it. I actually really like this commander's ability. It's kind of cool. It annoys some opponents to the end of the earth. It will annoy certain matchups. You're like, man, this is the worst thing to see in the command zone, because they're like a mono control deck, and I just cannot deal with this 2/3. It's kind of funny. I did craft Flare of Denial because sacrificing my commander is actually just kind of fine, so I actually wound up crafting this. I did find Flare to be a little annoying. I never had a Grazer Kami Flare God tier opener. You can't always have that. But I was thinking that it was okay to also sacrifice Derevi to Flare, and it probably is. It just, I don't think ever really came up that that was an outcome or a viable strategy there. So, but yeah, I liked it. Can recommend. So let me know what you thought about this commander. If you have ideas that you want to see that I didn't do with it, let me know in the comments. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.